Frequently in quilt patterns, you'll need to do some sort of trimming up for a subunit or a block before you proceed to the next step. And when you have those kinds of steps in your pattern, it's really, really helpful to show kind of that trimming step with a ruler. So if you're not doing that already, definitely start doing that. It's a really helpful visual for a lot of readers. But you have options, as with anything, as to how you kind of show rulers in your diagrams. Here's kind of a couple of examples of what I see a lot of. Some people like to draw literally like an omni-grid ruler complete with kind of that yellow tint color and all of the 1/4 inch markings, so it looks almost exactly what you're gonna see on your cutting mat. The kind of drawback to doing this is that if you're going to show all of those lines, you actually have to make sure that this is true to scale. So you have to make sure that if you're cutting, this half square triangle to 6.5 inches square, that you've aligned those lines on your imaginary ruler exactly to 6.5 inches square. Otherwise, people might start to get confused, and that's not good. The alternative way that you can show this, and my preferred way, is to just kind of show the major lines, the important lines. So you might just show a tinted ruler. You can make that yellow or clear, however you want to do it. It really doesn't matter. And then the only lines that you're actually going to put on that ruler are the ones that are needed for the correct alignment. So I've marked my 6.5 inch horizontal and vertical lines, and then of course that 45-degree line to show that we're aligning that to that center seam. What this does is just kind of removes a lot of elements from the diagram, which makes it easier to see what's going on. So instead of kind of having this diagram cluttered up with all of these different lines and markings, even though they're not too difficult to see in this diagram, this is much, much cleaner, much, much less likely to get confused, and it makes it absolutely clear which lines are getting aligned, and you also don't need to worry about having this thing true to scale, which is nice. So let's talk about when it's important to kind of have ruler diagrams in your quilt pattern. So a lot of people don't realize that if you're writing beginner patterns, you actually want to show trimming diagrams with rulers for both HSTs and QSTs. That's really important. If you're not going to show, if you've got like a more intermediate pattern and you're not going to show the trimming diagram for a QST, you at least want to indicate what kind of the center point is going to be, because that's the important landmark. But you also want to include a trimming diagram with a ruler in it for any kind of curved block trimming, because often there's really important landmarks there that you need to get your ruler aligned to in order to get the piece trimmed correctly. But also any kind of squaring up just in general, whether it's curved or not, where you've got to align a specific landmark in order to get the proportions correct before you go to the next step. You're going to want to include a trimming diagram. Don't just write it out in the text. Actually put a ruler over your quilt block and show exactly where things are going to get trimmed. That is much, much, much more helpful to the reader than just describing it with words. Alrighty, that's all I've got for today. If you like today's Tech Tip Tuesday video, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss next week's video. See ya!